Anyway, so we just had a little bit of a snafu. This is why we don't do this live.
I gotta meet that doggy.
We're gonna have to.
Yeah, actually, I just sabotaged all the gear so I could check on my dog.
Yep.
Yeah, 100%.
Kicked a cord under the table.
Yeah, no, we had to take a dog break since we were talking about it so much. No, but I wanna because Dave's latest thing is you're dealing with all this this. Is this unique to state schools? All the tenure stuff. That's super interesting.
Yeah.
So like that process to me is like it's a super interesting process. And is it state specific?
No, I wonder. It seems to be a universal tenure thing, not just state schools, private schools too.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Yeah. So we were talking about
jump
this,
through a whole bunch of hoops and stuff.
A lot of hoops, yeah. So the final stage of it is when you apply for tenure, you have 2 years to get it, and if you don't get it, they fire you.
That's wild.
Mm-hmm.
Can you choose not to apply for tenure and just like stay there, or are you?
Yes, but you're subject. Yes, you can, but you're subject to normal hiring and firing practices.
Yeah.
So same disciplinary actions as a first-year teacher. So even though you could be in year 10 if you never got tenured, you can be disciplined if you were a first-year teacher.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So the tenure is what protects you from that shit. Meaning it's supposed to give the latitude of teachers to teach however the fuck they want without disciplinary actions from the higher ups. Am I saying this kind of correct?
Exactly.
It's so that you're trying to give the incentivize higher education professionals to teach how they think it should be taught without fear of retribution from any administrators or anybody else.
It's that, but also it's your ability to speak up in meetings and such.
Awesome.
Without worry about losing your gig.
Yeah.
Basically.
Because somebody's
why
mad.
would they?
Yeah.
There's no
So like I'm not
retaliation.
tenured, so I have to hold back in meetings.
Okay.
Because
if you didn't get the tenure, the reason they fire you is because they felt like you had
their logic
given
is
the
that
chance.
if you apply for it and you don't get it, why are you there as a tenure track professor? Like you should have at that point already have accrued a bunch of performance. In my gig, it's like recordings and performance experience and accolades leading into that. So what have I been doing for the past 5 years if I don't have enough in my packet to get tenure? So it seems scary.
And how is
but
the
people
criteria like for giving or not giving tenure? Is it objective or is
it's
it like
super objective, and every school does it differently, and there's boards and there's different levels. So like every year, every time I'm up for this review, so I had one. I did my first year of full time, then I got reviewed, and that allowed me to get a 3-year contract. After that 3-year contract, I was reviewed again. I got a 2-year contract. So I'm just starting this 2-year contract. At the end of that 2-year contract is when I start to apply for tenure. And
Gotcha.
So basically that's 6 years at this point that I should have been building stuff up to apply for tenure. But so the way the levels work is that first you get reviewed by your peers in your department, and then they make a recommendation, and that moves up to a group of people that are consisting of people all over campus, and they make a recommendation to the provost, who Charles just learned is the person that runs you think the president runs the college. But the president is really fundraiser and face of the college. The shit hits the fan that goes all the way to the president, but the provost is the one that does the day-to-day operations.
They're the CFOs.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So it goes to the provost, and then the provost makes a recommendation to the president. So the president signs off on it, but it is all these channels that it goes through. Yeah.
Is the provost basically like the vice president then, or?
Not really, because I think all that president, vice president stuff is still like fundraising related. The provost isn't dealing with any fundraising. They're dealing with the mechanics of running the campus.
Oh, okay. So it's almost like a COO, CEO kind of thing.
Yeah, so they like the provost is at all the meetings.
Yep.
The president is not.
Gotcha. Okay.
And
That's so interesting. Yeah. And so essentially it's job security? Is that like basically
tenure?
The purpose
of tenure?
Yeah.
Yes, it's part of it.
Yeah. I think for me, it's more this freedom to then speak my mind about changes I'd like to do on campus. Because I feel like I've built in job security with like my skill set and the combination of classes that I do. But no, there is a reality that like if we get a new conservatory director, they can want to bring new people in. and if you're not tenured, then you are at risk.
They could just decide like, we want to. Yeah.
That's like when I was studying at Manhattan School of Music. I studied with Dick Oates my first year, and it was my dream to study with him. But I only got to study with him for a year because we got a new president, and he was worried about getting outed because he was so used to he got in because a new president came in and like wanted him in there. So he's like, this can happen in reverse. So there was an opportunity at another school for tenure. So he left Manhattan School to go.
So he was like preemptively leaving so that he didn't
preemptively
run
left,
into
so he
that
didn't-
situation,
yeah,
which is
exactly.
how he got the job. He didn't want to have that happen to him in the reverse.
Yeah.
Whoa.
That's every industry across the board.
Does tenure exist outside of education?
No, not for the closest thing you get is unionized workers.
Oh, okay, sure. Yeah,
that
yeah.
are covered by a union.
That makes sense.
But no, and that's, I mean, look at football. You
Yeah.
get a new owner, you get a new GM.
Yeah.
Everybody's going.
Yep.
See you later.
Yeah.
They want their own people.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You would too. I would too. You would. If I come in as the new boss, I'm going to put my fucking people in. So
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. And are you required to be a part of a teachers union?
Yes, so I'm part of what's called United University Professionals.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Huh.
so you have to be in order, at least because I'm part of a state school. So I don't know how the private
Right.
institutions work.
Sure.
But yeah, I'm part of.
So
of
my
that.
mom just retired from teaching. She taught kindergarten, first grade, second grade for years, and she was required to be a part of the teachers union. And
I think I am required to be.
Yeah. But it was interesting because like she never wanted to be, and I'm sure there's a myriad of reasons why, but like she always was upset at the idea that she was being forced to pay membership dues to something that she didn't even want to be a part of, and so it was just like this kind of built-in like, oh, let's make the company that is the thing and then create the legislation that says you have to fucking pay into it. You know?
Yeah.
But like my wife's a teacher and she's in a union and they do good things. I think they fight for her to get upgrades in pay every year.
Mhm.
Like every year they're renegotiating to up the pay.
Yeah.
And then how you're like getting your further education, how much of effect that has on your pay. All of that stuff. They're always kind of working on that.
Yeah, and I'm sure it's from union to union, depending on whether it's state or whatever. Like it's probably different for everybody, and there's certain things that some do well and some don't do well or whatever. But yeah, that is interesting.
But there's a downside to unions and tenure. Because when the wrong people
totally,
are protected by unions and tenure, it's a fucking nightmare.
There are
Yeah.
tons of faculty that are just phoning it in and all
well,
the time.
and that's another fascinating part of it too. Is like you work, you put all this work in to get tenure, and then afterwards you're like, I'll bet that there's got to be quite a few instances of they get to the point and they get tenure, and then they're like, I'm good.
They call that in sports a contract year. So watch sports. See who the fucking top baseball players are, hockey players, football players, basketball players. The last year of their first contracts, boy, they have some fucking great years because the next year's a new contract. So you see
really
all
trying.
these guys, all-stars, all-pros, money, just killing the game.
Yeah.
And then they get that second contract and they get all that guaranteed money and performance precipitously drops.
That's so
and it's
interesting.
across the board. There's been studies on it. It's especially in baseball where the contracts are 100% guaranteed in years and guaranteed money.
Oh, yeah.
See, in football, if you sign a 5-year deal with $30 million guaranteed, all they got to guarantee is the $30 million, not the 5 years. So they cut your fucking ass and they'll pay you out. Baseball, years and money guaranteed.
So you're just there.
You're there.
Yeah.
You can be a warm body.
Yep.
You're there.
And if they try to displace you, like if you guys ever Googled Bobby Bonilla, it's wild. They've been paying Bobby Bonilla $3 million a year for the last 30 years, the Mets.
Seriously?
Yes, because he signed this giant contract, and then they lost an arbitration. They couldn't cut him. It was all guaranteed. Motherfucker gets a check every year on like June 16th for $3 million, like the last 24 years.
Wow.
Wow.
It's like some Art of War shit.
It's
the whole
wonderful.
like back against the wall concept. Like the soldiers
Yeah.
won't fight
Yep.
nearly as hard until you
Yep.
push them up against the wall.
Yeah, I'm telling you guys, it's contract years. Like it's amazing. These guys have these incredible breakout seasons,
Now-
and then poof, drops off a
Now,
cliff.
what's interesting? Okay, so in Formula One, there is all of these same contracts. It's a dollar amount and a year number, but there are clauses built in on both sides of the table that allow them to cancel the contract in the event of certain things. So the team probably has, the team might have, if you
I love that you're saying this. I'm going to bring it all for us.
Okay, cool. Because the team can be like, if you're performing shittily, we can drop you.
Yes.
And so and the driver can also be like, yeah, but if I do this and this and this, you gotta pay up.
Yeah.
A lot of times
why?
they'll have like race win, bonuses and things like that are to us insane amounts of money.
Yep.
So
Ready for the ball?
Yeah, let's do it.
Because there's no F1 drivers union.
Yeah, there is.
I'm talking about a unionized sport that's collectively bargained in international courts. There is no such thing that exists in F1.
There's a drivers association.
Yeah, but they're not part of a collectively bargained
That's
agreement.
true.
Yeah.
So the MLB, CBA, baseball's union. NFLPA, CBA, argued through the courts. You have NHL, players union. NBA, players union. WNBA, all these sports have unions that collectively bargain how the contracts can work. So the teams can't have anything outside of the contract, and the incentivization has to come from the players. It's all kinds of shit. If the drivers, all those powerful drivers got together and collectively bargained their contracts together, none of that shit would be happening.
Okay,
Yeah.
so but that I
It'll
think
never
would-
happen.
It'll never happen, and I think a lot of I don't think any driver would want that because I think
Oh yeah, I'm not saying it's better. I'm just
Yeah.
saying the reason it can be that flexible is because it's not
all of
collectively
the
bargained.
contracts have to apply a set of standards. I see. Okay, so yeah, because definitely that's not a thing.
And also in major professional sports, if I want to go to the Denver Broncos because I've been playing there for 4 years, and they want to give me $70 million for the next 5 years, but the Arizona Cardinals want to give me $100 million, the union will not let me take the cheaper offer.
Really?
Because it harms the union, and you have signed paperwork with
Yeah.
the union stating that you will not do that because it will hurt your teammate who doesn't want to give a hometown discount, and they'll point to you and say precedent's been set. He took way less to stay here. You need to as well.
Yeah.
So the union won't let
So
you
now
sign
the
the
That's
union
contract.
fascinating.
it's like the army where you
Yep.
you don't get to choose where you
They
live now.
drive the fucking ship.
Wow. And are the players for this? Like, is it a popular thing?
It's neither here nor there.
Okay.
It's just a reality.
Interesting.
Yeah.
The unions are so old and so powerful, having to stink about it would mean nothing. And you can't opt out of it. You're automatically in once you sign your contracts with the league. So it's a totally different ballgame.
That is fascinating.
Closest thing I've seen to rebelling is Lamar Jackson, the MVP 2 years ago in the NFL. So on paper, the best player in football, right? He does not have an agent, and he's negotiating everything directly with the team. And the union's going fucking crazy.
Really?
But there's no verbiage or anything he signed that says he has to have an agent.
Yeah.
So that's his version of bucking the system, is going agentless. And he just had a contract year, and now he is looking for a new contract.
That's fascinating. So it's the agent that's tied to this system. Is that correct?
Everybody's tied
the
to
player,
it.
the player's
The player's the one
but
that's in the
how
union.
is he, just because he doesn't have an agent, how is he then doing all this outside of the bounds of the union?
He has to act within the bounds of the union, but he has nobody negotiating on his behalf but himself. And that's what
And
the
they don't like
union's
that.
like, fuck.
Okay, so they don't. So he's still subject to the
Is that
same.
'cause
He's
he's-
got to take the highest offer.
yeah.
He's taking a job away from an agent. Is
Yeah.
that why
No,
they're mad?
no, they're mad because they're not in the room. So whatever he signs, he's going to sign. And
Oh, so he's negotiating with the team ownership directly.
And the
And
union's
there's- and the
kind of like
union is
sitting
like-
back like,
So the agents essentially represent the union.
they don't they represent their clients, but they're
But they
everybody's
communicate
like
with the union.
part of
It's like a
Okay.
realtor. An agent's like a realtor. Literally, like an agent is like an agent.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, I'm negotiating for you, but everybody's involved and it all goes through me.
Interesting.
When you don't have that, if you're just buying someone's house without an agent, it gets way fucking different. Way different. So that's why everybody's sitting back wondering what's going to happen.
Not to pivot, but how does it get different? Because isn't it still the same? Like, if somebody went out and didn't have representation and just bought a listing, right? It's the same contracts, right? Like, it's the same.
I mean, what I would tell anybody is, okay, so do you have CTM e-software contracts? And they'd be like, what? I'd be like, so what contract are you going to use? Well, I'm going to ask an attorney. Okay, well, then you're going to be using that attorney's contract. Okay, then you have to pay for that contract. Who's going to review it? Well, I'm going to review it. Okay, does the other party know that you're going to review your own contract that you purchased from an attorney that is not being reviewed by an attorney or an agent? Well, yeah, but okay, so this is all going great so far. Now who's going to enforce the deadlines?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I am. Well, that would mean that you're acting as your own transaction broker. Do you have a license? Well, no. Well, then do you guys have a mutual agreement upon deadlines that they'll all be flexible? Well, I don't know. This is all going great so far. So let's continue. Who ordered title work for the house? Well, I think he did. Okay, which title company did he use? Do they have all the contracts? Well, this is all going great so far.
Yeah.
So that's where not having an agent for an NFL deal, same thing.
Wait. Hold on. Sorry. There's not a standard Colorado contract for purchase and sale.
There's a standard Colorado contract that is updated through our software.
Right.
I'm sure you could get your hands on it if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's the right one. Hopefully it's the one that's up to date.
Gotcha.
I mean, I'm sure there's comment kings will be like, well, I found it. And maybe it's right, maybe it's not.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Right.
Did you review it? Do you know which one is right? Do you know when it was updated?
Right.
So all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Do you know what happens when you miss a deadline? Well, do you know if this is enforceable? Well, what happens if you guys fall out of contract? What happens to the earnest money? Just a million things.
Yeah, totally. Yeah,
So
things that if unless you're doing this for a living, you don't even know what questions to ask.
Yeah.
Like, you don't know what you don't know.
I sold more homes. Let's do this because last month was fucking terrible. The month before, let's just say July. Let's say June. I probably sold more houses in June, just that 1 month.
Yeah.
Than 99.8% of America will be involved in buying or selling for themselves in their whole fucking lives.
Oh yeah, of course.
So that's why when people, you might get lucky. You might skip the realtor fees and get really lucky.
Yeah.
Chances are.
Well, the funny thing is, like, when you're a buyer, it makes zero fucking sense because you're not paying that fee. Yeah.
The seller needs to pay to have their house sold. That's how it works.
Yeah, that's fascinating.
It's funny with the houses being on the markets for triple the time now, and prices going down, rates going up. Mm-hmm. Man, so many people that thought they could do this shit on their own or for sale by owners of their houses, they're fucking calling us scrambling, man. Scrambling. Because it's no longer just put a sign in the yard, get 10 offers, and sign your house.
Right. Now they actually have to work
now
for
it's
it
a
and
lot
figure it
different.
out. Yeah, it's interesting. So what does, like, marketing entail? Because that's always a part of, like,
That's so funny. I'm not, again, this is not bit. I just got an invoice for, that is so funny you just said that. Let me pull this up. I'll show you exactly.
Well, because I've always been interested in this idea of, like, what do you do with a house besides put it on the MLS?
This is perfect.
And get it everywhere. Like, how do you get something about a house out there?
I literally had this sent to me like 30 minutes ago.
You don't have to.
So this is a cost of initial services as requested per the seller.
Yeah.
Because she kind of pissed
Who's this
at me.
from?
This is from my office.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah.
So they track everything.
Sure.
It. So cost of initial services as requested per the seller. Staging services, $1,395. Market shine clean, $300. Full maintenance move out clean, $375. Additional move out maintenance, $150. Base photography package, $150. Area stills, $105. Listing measurements, $200. Total cost of initial services, $2,675. Additional 2 months of staging at $700 a month. Additional 60 days online refresh, $300. Additional first 60 days of MLS listings, $400. Additional 2 months of marketing for database services and broker fees, $200. Running total for this specific house, $4,975. Perfect example of when people say, what do you do? Show them that invoice.
Right.
Like, you want to do all this shit?
Yeah.
Go right ahead and find the people to do it for you.
I do not.
Yeah.
We were going to stage our house ourselves, the one that you sold for me.
Yeah.
And so you had a staging consultant come in, and she walks in and she looks around and she's like, all right, here's the deal. People are going to come in with their kids, and they're going to steal and or destroy everything you own. So that needs to go into storage. That needs to go into storage.
Yeah.
And what's your timeline for this? I was like, 48 hours. She's like, yeah, you're screwed.
Oh, man. And you guys have the best approach to moving, which you've done now multiple times, which is like, fuck it, pay somebody. I don't want to touch any of my shit. Pack it up for me. Move it for me.
That's how I moved too.
We did. The only thing we didn't have them do was unpack.
Okay.
Yeah,
but we had
that's
them
how I
pack. We had them move it. We had them bring in the sofa. They put the bed together. Like, I can do all this stuff, but if I do it, I can't make videos and do my job.
Leanne and I have lived in Colorado for 3.5 years. In that time, we've moved 4 times, and I've only ever moved myself.
I think we've also moved 4 times.
Have you really? Yeah.
Yeah.
We've only ever
You
moved
move yourself?
We've moved ourselves every time. Yeah, I don't think I'll ever do it
I can't believe you moved yourself the last time.
Yeah, I know.
that was a big
Because we
move.
moved from a house that we owned to a house that we owned.
That was a big move.
Yeah, and I don't
Me and my wife
have
would
any
just
desire.
get divorced. Like, we would fight so much, and I'd be trying to hurry it, and she'd be trying to slow it down. We would get divorced. Like, wow, they finally broke up. What'd they do? They moved
Right.
together.
Yeah.
And tried to do it themselves.
How to
Yeah.
not get divorced. Have a list of things you do not do with your wife.
That'd be moving.
Move house. That's number one.
Right. No, it went fine with us. It was just like I have no desire to do it again because it's so
awful.
much fucking work. Yeah,
Yeah.
And we moved in August, and it was 98 degrees on moving day. Like it was terrible.
I remember that.
I moved from an apartment in Bronxville and like in Westchester to we bought our house, but we were getting it renovated, so we went to stay with our in-laws for a year to do all these renovations. So we were staying there. I moved from that apartment in Bronxville. I would drive a GTI with like just pack it to the gills to a storage unit in Norwalk.
And just go back and
forth.
Oh.
I did that for about a month. It took me about a month.
Oh
to
my
do that.
God.
Because it was our apartment. Because we had this co-op. I still have it. That it was cheaper to just keep it and rent it out than to sell it because it was like a down market.
Yeah.
So there's no rush to move out of the apartment, but yeah, like I just had a little GTI, so I'd load it as much as I can, and then do that, and then from the storage unit to the house, I moved us as well. Yeah. Yep.
I've moved apartments in a Corolla, just back and forth,
not good.
back and forth, back and forth, back. In fact, we moved out here in a Corolla. We rented a van, packed it to the gills, drove it out, drove it back.
Mm-hmm.
Gave the van back, and then got in our Corolla, which was also packed to the gills, and then drove out. And that's how we moved.
Do you
out
guys
here.
ever have like midday fantasies about the shitty cars you used to own and how you wish you still had them?
No.
I do.
Really?
Like my Pontiac Bonneville that I first had when I was 16
Really?
had a big throaty V8 and like
See-
legit
Nice.
velour
Yeah.
seats, and
Okay.
it's like,
Here-
fuck, I wish I had that
but
car.
here's why you're alone in that. Well, maybe not alone, but you had something that was cool, right? My first, you had a fucking V8.
Yeah, Pontiac Bonneville,
Yeah,
the
dude.
class V8
Yeah.
was
Even
fucking
if
My-
it's shitty, it's cool.
Yeah, it was cool.
My first car was a 2004 Dodge Grand Caravan.
Yeah.
There's some charm there, though.
Her name was Priscilla.
Yeah, see, he fucking named it. I knew
Gotta
it.
give her
There's a okay. Here's a. This is.
Let's
fun.
put it this way:
There is a.
for $2,000, would you buy Priscilla back?
Well, it's sitting in a field.
I'm just curious. I mean, let's just say somebody
He
took care
still has
of.
I still have
somebody
Priscilla.
took care of her. She's running. If it cost you $2,000 to get her up and running, would you do it?
No.
Okay, so you didn't love Priscilla then.
No, no, that's not fair. That's not fair. No, fuck you. Listen. Here's it. Actually, this is a nugget from the past. If you sort my YouTube channel by oldest, you will find a video called "My Van Hits 200,000 Miles."
Wait, I've seen that.
Cool.
Have you really?
Oh,
Yes,
I want to watch that.
because I have sorted your channel by oldest. I just do that with people. It's
That's
fun.
awesome.
Yeah, and I made a video when the van hit 200,000 miles, and it was
That's
like,
awesome.
Yeah, we did a whole thing with it. Yeah, it was fun.
Leanne's
And
in
this-
that video, right?
Yes,
I think she's in the car.
Yeah, and my cousins, and
What kind of video was this?
No, it was
Pictures are up in the roof.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, the pictures are
They're
in the
in the drop
ceiling.
ceiling
They're in the
here.
ceiling. Yeah,
So
yeah.
I have dreams about a car that wasn't mine.
Yeah?
That I went to high school with. So my first car was a Celica GTS. It was a 1990.
See, that's
I'm
cooler.
very familiar with that car.
blue
yeah.
on blue, but it
Yeah.
was automatic.
Yeah.
So that's
Less
kind of
cool.
was less cool, and it was front wheel drive.
Even less cool.
So, but the car that I think about is my friend had a '93 Accord 4-door gold with the red velour interior,
Sick.
and it was manual
Spoiler?
transmission.
Spoiler?
It had a little spoiler.
Yeah, the little lip spoiler.
Little
I
lip
love
spoiler.
that car.
And we would go out. The way our school worked was whenever you had science class, every other day the period after was lab. So that meant every other day you had a study hall. And then so I had a study hall built into my schedule third period. So every other day I had 2 study halls back to back, and so did he. So we would go driving. He'd teach me how to drive manual.
That's awesome.
And we would leave
That's
campus,
cool.
and we had like an hour and a half because it was two blocks back to forth, and little by little go as far as I could. I ended up in Danbury one time. We were in Norwalk, and a lot of memories in that car.
That's cool.
So I look for them. But they're like now classics, like that generation of the Accord.
How much do they sell for?
Was that the flip headlight ones?
Yep.
Yeah, that's a bad car.
Pop
Yeah.
up,
I like
up and
those.
down,
Yeah, so
headlights.
that one. Yeah, I mean, probably like $5,000 gets you like a junker of that car.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
Be
they're
able to get-
popular.
Yeah, all
That's
all
crazy.
those Japanese cars like are worth a lot of money now.
That's crazy.
Well, one of my best friends
Souls
in high
and-
school had, I don't know if it was that car, but it had the pop-up headlights. I have nostalgia for that car. My first car was like a Malibu from the 90s. It wasn't cool.
Yeah.
And then my second car, I can go drive it because I gave it to my mom.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Vinny, before you, I know Vinny's short on time today.
I'm okay for a little bit.
Vinny's short on time today, but we need your advice.
Okay.
There are people who need your advice. Okay,
Love this.
so this is a new segment. You haven't done this segment
haven't done
yet.
this segment.
This is called Dear Vinny.
Oh.
So this is our own version. This is our own version of like Dear Abby. And so we thought,
And I guess they're real.
what?
Like, it's-
Oh yeah, they're
like
totally real. Yeah,
questions.
they're from viewers. And so this is our. We figure, well, Dear Abby. I mean, that's cool, whatever, fine. But like, we have a fucking 350-pound just monster.
Abby.
Yes, we have our own Abby, who's just what better way to utilize this particular set of skills than to offer life advice,
That's going
which turned out to be shockingly insightful. Like that sounds mean. I shouldn't say shockingly. No,
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I shouldn't say shockingly. But the first time we did one of these, he just rattles off these like super insightful, in-depth responses to the questions, and we're like,
was funny.
We're like,
Yeah.
what? Like,
That was-
holy
they're, like,
shit!
waiting for the
It was
punchline.
great. It was so good. So, anyways, we have a couple of Dear Vinnies to go through today. Tom, why don't you start?
Let's do it. All right. Dear Vinny.
Who's this from?
This is from John.
John. Thank you for the question, John.
What's your favorite way to tell someone to go fuck themselves? P.S. This podcast is one of my new favorites.
Oh, thank
That's
you,
really
John.
good.
Thanks, John.
Winky face, heart emoji. That was in there.
Nice.
That's really good. So there's all the jokes running around like per my last email, right? You've seen those? Or best wishes, or those
yeah.
are all like, go fuck yourselves
Yes.
in that. Like,
Regards.
Yes.
Yes.
So my favorite way to tell someone to go fuck themselves is go fuck yourself. But I understand not everybody can do that. But I have a very limited fear of any individual in this planet. So I'm okay with telling people to go fuck themselves. But let's say it was like
You should follow that up with, what are you gonna do?
I think the best way to put it is like, let's say a woman is upsetting me, or I want to tell somebody to go fuck themselves, like a librarian, somebody that you wouldn't just come out and say go fuck yourself.
Well, the librarian, it's just go fuck yourself.
Yeah. That's really good. I wouldn't come out and say go fuck yourself. I get really sarcastic. I just did this the other night. We were at a strip club. Go shocker, right? We were at a strip club.
Live advice from Vinny.
And I'm walking in, and the guy's like, "You can't come in. You're wearing shorts." And I was like, "You fucking kidding me? Shorts? It's the summer. Of course I'm wearing fucking shorts. Got a bunch of sweaty crotched losers in there wearing fucking pants." And he's like, "No, you can't come in." And instead of being like, "Go fuck yourself," which might have caused a massive brawl, and we were with a bunch of people, I kind of stuck my thumb up and I did the okay, all right, buddy, and that was my way of saying go fuck yourself. So I usually go straight to sarcastic. Okay, all right, buddy, and that's my way of saying go fuck yourself. So lower the voice, higher the voice, whatever. But I think sarcasm has always been my favorite way of telling people to go fuck themselves. If I can't just come out and say go fuck yourself.
Yeah,
That's my favorite with drivers, like road rage, like
Yeah.
drivers, like I give them a thumbs up.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Drivers, I just want to like bap them on the head and spray bottle them. Be like, no.
Yeah. I read one time. It might have been like a Reddit post, and somebody was like, "Yeah, I accidentally cut this guy off in traffic, and rather than flipping me off, he just gave me a thumbs down." And they were like,
great.
They were like, which for some reason just hurt so much more. It's like, I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed.
My buddy, you met Eric, tall Eric.
Yeah.
Eric, my buddy Eric, whenever people start flipping him off and shit, he just starts going. And he's like, 9 out of 10 people start laughing and shaking their
my
head.
God.
He's like, but that 10th person loses their
Yeah,
fucking
right.
minds.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's great. Dave's got one too. Let's see.
Okay, this is from Joe from Louisville, Kentucky.
Oh.
Dear Vinny, having some trouble with a coworker. I work for a company whose logo is a big red bullseye.
Ooh.
Well, my coworker will not stop farting.
Wait.
Target.
We're not allowed to say the name.
Hold on. Have we done this one? This one's old.
No, I've never heard this.
And it's always right in front of me, to the point where they've admitted to holding it and farting in front of me. She's a normal person otherwise, and I told my manager about it, and he just shrugged his shoulders and walked away. What does this mean? Confused and scared. Please help.
If this is real, there's been court cases settled about flatulence in the workplace.
No,
there's
really?
precedents. It is
What?
considered a form of harassment, and it is an HR violation. If this is
Hold
a
on.
real thing,
Wait. How do you know this?
I studied criminal justice in college.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I did 4 years of pre-law, so I know
You
I know
came to
all
class
the
one
shit.
day and they're like, all right, it's fart class.
It was basically it was a male worker doing it to a female worker. When she denied his advances, it was considered retaliation that he started doing this.
Oh my gosh.
And yeah, a company had to pay. That needs to be escalated to HR, period. If it's on purpose and she has because here's the thing, if it is at the store we're thinking it is, that's a big fucking store.
Yeah.
They can move that stupid bitch right across the fucking way.
Yeah.
And those two never have to see each other again.
Right.
So if you're truly scared, escalate it or ask to be moved departments, but that's a real thing. That's considered a form of harassment.
Yeah.
So you never know with your Vinny.
Escalate. Send that shit to HR. You know what's funny?
and give her a thumbs down.
Give her a thumbs down. Yeah.
Farter.
Or just fart back. That's an option too.
But when you try
That
to
is a
fart,
form of
sometimes
escalation.
it's a dicey game.
It
man.
is, but
That's why you
know,
got to learn to bend over and suck air in.
I've heard of this.
Mm.
My buddy did that in high school.
Team that
Yeah,
would do
same
it.
here. Fucking guy in high
Every
school
time
football
after
team.
practice, you would come in the fucking locker room and do it.
Yeah.
Oh my god. How do you? I don't even want to know.
I
the
don't
mechanics
know.
of
breathing.
that.
I think nobody knows
I think
except
it's
that guy.
Wim Hof. I'm kidding. I'm so kidding.
Is that what the Wim Hof method is? I always thought it was like ice water or something. Like, no, we're gonna suck air into the asshole.
Yes. That is what Wim Hof is. Don't you know? Well, cheers, Vinny.
Cheers.
Cheers, Vinny. Cheers, Vinny. Wow, Vinny, you lost a shitload of weight all of a sudden. Holy shit. Wow.
Yeah, it's Atkins diet.
Yeah, no, but
If you had the same outfit, that would be great.
that would have been great. We should have
I
thought
was
of
wearing a
that.
black T-shirt this morning.
Oh shit! We should have thought
Take
of that.
Vinny's Gucci watch.
Yeah, right.
And it's loose. It's real loose.
Oh my god. Yeah, we had to unfortunately replace Vinny, but fortunately, we've got Dylan.
Hello.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, I inevitably, the only like every time Dylan is on the podcast, we just are like, "What's the situation with your wife?"
Oh god.
And there's always no update because
And
it's
there's
like,
no answer.
Yeah, because like they don't know anything, and it's just like more and more and more annoying because it's like they're waiting for the same thing everyone else is.
Gosh,
We don't have to talk about it.
most boring podcast segment. Yeah, no update.
Yep. No
Yep,
update.
nope, good.
Yep.
I could.
Everybody. Yeah. But welcome anyways.
Oh, thanks.
And Dylan's been corralling the new puppy the whole time.
Yes, yeah. For the
Doing a very
first
good job.
last hour, yes, I've been enjoying the puppy. Thank you for bringing her.
Lucky bastard. Yeah.
I'm just glad that she's chill and will stay in her bed and not run around and chew on your camera cords.
Well, she's just once she
Yeah.
gets it'll come out. It'll come out.
I'll
She'll
buy
get
you
more
new
comfortable.
camera cords.
And then the puppy energy will start flowing, and then you'll have a little monster on your hands.
Yep.
But that's fun,
I
that's
think we
always-
need an office puppy.
We should get
Charles,
an office
can we
puppy.
get an office puppy?
We should get an office puppy.
Come on, boss.
You
You
really
have
have
2 dogs. You could just bring them to work.
I could. Yeah.
Though I don't know how well do they fit in your car.
That's a good point. I don't think they would fit in the car. Yeah. No.
They seem like your dog's cats in a way. It's like their house. It's like that's their home. Like I don't see them as like outdoor. Like they go outside to do their business, but they don't really like hang outside. And
So yeah, it's interesting. There's they have this really interesting dynamic where we have a bigger one and a smaller one. The bigger one is Joey, and Joey is a dog's dog, but Benji, the little guy, he is a people dog.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
So what happens is Benji just wants to be wherever Leanne is, or wherever I am, or like he just wants to be with the people. But Joe wants to fight Benji.
Yeah.
So like they want to he wants to wrestle, and so it's like he'll kind of go up behind him, he'll bite at his ankles, and then he'll jump back. He's like, "Come on, let's go, let's play," And Benji's like, "Dude, I'm watching what Mom's doing. Just chill for a second." And like he's just staring, right? And then Joe's like, "No, come on, wait, like let's go." And it's the point where Joe will start making he'll start being like. He'll just start making noise and Benji's just like, hold on, no, and all he wants to do is just hang out where the people are. So that's why they always wind up like wrestling inside so much, because Benji just wants to be where everyone else is, and Joey's like, dude, let's wrestle, let's go, you know. And so, but sometimes they'll go outside and they'll run around and they'll do their thing. But we had to we spent way too much money on training, because it was not the most fun thing taking them out places and taking them walking and stuff like that, just because they would rile each other up, you know, so they'd feed off of their energy together, and it would just become this like positive feedback loop of like, oh yeah, we're getting more intense, and then they just want to like pull after everything, and taking them on walks in the park and stuff, and they're like super wired, and they're just like looking for anything they can chase after, you know. And so but we did the training thing, and it's oh my god, it's so much better, like, you know. And then that just fixes everything and now we're good. Like, no, you have to work with them even after you do that, because what it does basically is it installs new operating code in the dog, but that operating code doesn't do anything if you don't execute it. So it's like you have to continuously like work through the things that they do. But if you do, then, you know, they stay sharp with it, and they just helps them get more and more used to it, and like they've been great. But the only issue is we don't really like take them places at the moment, because we're still just kind of getting them so used to. We have a walk thing we will do with them, and we're just getting them so used to like knowing exactly what they're doing on those, you know, excursions, and being so used to the responses and how to, you know, respond to the commands and stuff like that. So it's been very effective, and but this idea of, oh, we're gonna get a dog and it's gonna be like a trail dog and we're gonna go hiking and stuff like that. Yeah, I don't know. Like
that's my dog. My dog. Yeah, he loves, like, we have a few off-leash dog parks around us.
Nice.
And then with the training thing, like, big advice is like, do it just often and right from the get-go. Like, I trained him every
help
morning.
if you're not going to do it, like, have somebody help you.
We're going to do both.
That's what it winds up being.
An expert
like,
trainer, and then I want to work with her too.
And that's what it would have to be anyways. Like, no matter who you get, you know. And like, but yeah. So is your dog like off leash?
My dog, he's off leash all the time. He barely has a leash on. Like, I can walk around the neighborhood off leash with him.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he has no desire to really leave me. And then if he sees like a squirrel, he'll ask for permission to go chase a squirrel.
That's
no.
huge.
Wow.
Yeah,
that is so huge, and that's the thing that is impossible with Joey and Benji. Is like their prey drive is so wired that like they get crazed. You know, and they say like once you lose the dog to that stimulus,
it's hard to get it back.
You can't get it back. Like, you have to be on top of it before it happens. And so that's like, if they get riled up, like when they approach other dogs or whatever it is, like you want to try to just avoid the escalation in the first place, you know. And if you can do that, you can usually keep a reasonable handle on it. You know,
I did a lot of I saw these videos about getting a 20-foot leash. So that was great training for him, because he, you know, like, with the thing with dogs where you're trying to get the dog and then you get close and then they run away. So with the 20-foot leash, he would try to do that, but I would just walk what he thinks is away, but I'm really walking towards the end of the leash. And he started to learn really early, like, oh, I'm not really free. Like, this guy always has a control of where I am.
So you'd have the leash, you'd let go of the leash and put it on the ground.
Yeah, he'd be running around with his 20-foot leash on him.
Gotcha.
And he would stop somewhere, but the leach would be, like, the end of the leash would be over there, so I'd walk over there. And so he started to, so it was easy to get him when he was loose. But he started to see, like, okay, I'm free, but I'm not really, like, so I did a lot of that. I got him to play fetch, which is really good. And there's these, he's like hooked on squeaker toys. So like I carry, when I go walking as an emergency, I rarely have to use it, but a little squeaker. So if he does like kind of go for something, I'll just do 2 squeaks on this thing, and he'll just like he'll like forget about like the thing he was chasing.
That's good. Yeah.
Wow. So I rarely have to use that thing, but I'll have it with me. But yeah, I train him every morning for half, like during breakfast with all the sit, stay, all of that stuff, and then when I like in the afternoon I would do it, and probably like 2 or 3 times a day, just every day when I got him, because like having an untrained dog is a drag. So yes, and to the point now where so my dog loves the outside. Like he's inside barely. Like he is dying to go outside, so he'll be outside while I'm mowing the grass and doing all the yard work and stuff, and he's just there like kind of hanging, exploring. And then when we're in the front of the yard and there are dogs, because our street is part of like this walking route it's called I'm in a town called Norwalk, and there's a club called the Norwalkers, and like a bunch of their routes like use my street as like a main.
How clever
thing.
do you think the person feels who came up with that?
Oh yeah,
They're just like, I love it.
They're
I
like,
think it's so great.
do you know who made the name for that club? This guy right here.
I got a plaque about it.
Yeah.
Made the
You
plaque
think
too.
it's? How do you like it? You think it's kind of clever? You know what I'm saying?
So all these dogs walk past our street, and he's really good. He'll look to me like, "Can I play?" And I'm like, "Nope." And everybody's really impressed with that, to the point where I have people that want me to train their dog. So I have some people that like want me to like work with their dogs.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
I'm just
killer.
too busy. Or actually, what I'll do is I'll actually tell them like, get the 20-foot leash and find me, and we'll do it. And then that's it. I never hear from them.
Yeah,
again.
right.
Yep.
Of course. Yeah.
Right, because they have to do it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, they're like, oh,
they don't have time to do it either.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, if I could have paid somebody to just train my dog, but like just do it all the time, I mean, I don't know. I probably would, but then you realize like, oh, well, a big part of the training is like when you go out with them at all, like you gotta be doing the stuff and everything. So then you're just like, oh, okay, well, but the starting from scratch thing, like some people have a touch with that. It's amazing. Like there's some YouTube channels that are like really incredible that you can just watch people transform a dog in like 5 minutes, and you're like, how the fuck did you do that? Because like it's just it's just experience, you know what I mean? And it's like some people I think just have a knack for it, and I don't know.
My wife says I was part dog because I'm good with other dogs too. Like dogs that are known for bark, like biting and stuff like that. Like I just I don't know. Yeah.
We were watching a couple of videos yesterday, and there's all these little things that like as a human you wouldn't think.
Yeah.
Like a dog doesn't really understand monotone voice. They understand like little upticks in voice. So you have to know like that's the command. It's not come.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, there's a great one out there where it's like this guy's like explaining. He's like, yeah, it doesn't matter what I say. All that matters is the tone. And he goes to the dog and he's like, you're the worst dog ever. You're such a piece of shit. You don't do anything you're told, and you're so and the dog's wagging the tail. Is like all so excited, and then he turns around. He's like, you're the best dog ever. I love you so much. You're the greatest thing that's ever happened to me. You're such a good boy. You do everything right. And the dog's like cowering in the corner. And it's like,
have you seen the Penn Teller version of that?
I don't think so. No.
I have a playlist of videos that is called Very Important Videos. It's like 2 seconds. It's just Penn Teller going, I love you, dog.
Yeah.
Have you seen the Bill Burr thing about his dog? So he talks about how he had to take his dog to like therapy because the dog was like attacking anything. They'd go on walks and it would just randomly started attacking all these people. So the therapist is like, well, describe your time with the dog. And he's like, oh, in the morning we go out for a run and around the neighborhood because that's when less people are out. And then we come back and, I open the door and let her up and she runs upstairs and I count to 10 and then I go up there and then we wrestle for a little while to get her energy out. And then we kind of hang out in the apartment. And the therapist is like, yeah, that's like everything not to do. And Bill's like, what? He's like, well, first off, you've trained your dog to claim the property. Like, so the dog's going in the property first. It's like they're claiming the apartment, and then you going up there and fighting with it. It's thinking it's fighting for its property, like defending the household.
That's interesting.
And so you're teaching it to be like this aggressive thing.
Well, so that actually is an interesting thing because one of the things that the trainer did with us is they were like, door manners, which is this idea of like they sit and I go through the door, and they only come through the door when I ask them to, you know, and like that's an interesting one. But I think that is probably a similar type of thing.
Gosh, dogs are so complicated. I just had cats.
You only had cats?
Cats
are
easy. You just get
cats
them.
are easy.
So chill.
They're easy.
They just hang out.
This concept of cats and dogs in the house is very new to me.
Yeah?
Really?
I always had it.
Yeah.
I always had a dog and a cat.
Growing up, I had 5 dogs in the house, 5 cats in the house at the same time.
Wow. Yeah.
Oh my God.
I was so used to it.
Were they big dogs?
Oh yeah. Yeah, we grew up with mostly Bulldogs.
Okay.
So like the females are like 80 pounds, males can get like 100, 110.
Wow.
So when you're a little kid, you're just getting like trampled by like a barrage of animals.
I think the Bulldogs started coming in probably when I was like 10 or 11. So
Okay.
I wasn't small. I don't think we had a dog until about that time. We had cats. And then I don't know, like we had mostly females for a while, and then my dad was like, I'm gonna buy the biggest muscular stud bulldog for no reason. And he was untrainable. So he always lived outside because if he came inside, he would just like destroy the other dogs. Basically,
That's sad.
He wanted to claim the territory for himself. But we had half an acre backyard, so it wasn't quite what you grew up with. But we at least had space for them to always be able to run around.
More than lots in Colorado, I'll tell you that much. Woo.
Yeah, good luck getting even a quarter-acre lot in Colorado.
They're hard to find
anywhere.
They're really hard to find.
Unless you want to go out and buy a horse farm.
Yeah, which is literally what we might do. No, I've been talking about it because, like, you know, this office is amazing and everything, but like, you think about the money you're spending on the office, and if you're like, man, if I was just spending that same money, but for myself, like building equity and something.
If I did just have a warehouse, like, it's funny, like, I love where I live, which is really near downtown, and I have a single family home, but I barely have a yard. I've got like a little patch of turf.
It's a patio,
and then I have a patio.
Yeah.
Luckily, my front yard is turf and fenced in, so it's kind of perfect for her to use as the bathroom area.
Yeah.
But like, I got her and I've had it for 2 days, and I'm just like, I kind of wish I had a yard. To toss a ball in. Because now I got to take her to dog parks.
You'll start thinking more and more about that. It's the thing. I will warn you. Fair warning with turf. Walk past the building that Leanne and I first moved into down in Lohi, which is on the corner with Mizu and stuff like that.
Yes.
Walk past that when it's nice and hot out and take a whiff.
Yeah.
And that's what happens to turf.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. You be careful with turf and using it as their bathroom area because it can.
Now, is there something you can do about it? Can you, like, rinse it or something?
Yeah, you could rinse it, and that would probably be effective. But turf has a tendency to hang on to odors for sure. Yeah. But yeah. Moving on, we got to do bad music advice, especially because Dave's here. Not literally. I mean, we don't, as if we don't do it every episode. But these are great. And Jake is. I say this every time because this is the slow burn hype build. But Jake's writing a book. These are all going to be eventually. They're all going to be in a book, and they're going to be. It's going to be amazing.
He's making books of several kinds that we should talk more about at some point.
Yes.
Just saying.
You're going to read this one.
Odd Time Collection.
The Odd Time, yes.
Yes. Call and response. Call and response is when a musician calls another musician on the phone to see if they're on their way to practice or a gig after it's already started in hopes of getting a response. Usually the absent musician never shows up and doesn't give a response until the following afternoon once they've woken up. Call and response is a universally dreaded part of life as a musician, and it has been ever since the dawn of music a couple hundred years ago.
Yep.
The most notorious case of call and response going wrong was in 1862 when Bach called Ella Fitzgerald to accompany his performance at Red Rocks the next night. She infamously ghosted him and never gave a response. Bach was so enraged that he improvised and created his toccata and fugue in D minor on the spot, live at Red Rocks in front of hundreds of Colorado stoners and hipsters who all died in disbelief shortly after. Call and response also refers to when a musician calls out a question to the crowd, like, are you feeling good tonight? Or how many people are high here? And the crowd responds with a collective wow or woo. Duke Ellington was the first to pioneer call and response in this way. In the middle of his trumpet solo at Comedy Works, he screamed to the crowd, "You want more?" And of course, no one said anything because this had never been done before. And all that was heard were crickets who were rudely talking amongst themselves in the back. Call and response is now referred to as emoji and response because no one calls each other anymore, but I digress.
Oh my God.
Call and response, I think, is actually like a thing where a musician plays something and then another musician plays something else or some shit, and they keep doing that for hours. Not sure. Honestly, I don't know why this is a term because that just sounds like playing in a band, but whatever.
I love that they're becoming more just like Jake's stream of consciousness. He's like, why is this even a thing? I don't even get it.
Why am I talking
That's
about
amazing.
this right now?
Wow. That's a solid entry to the bad music advice chapter of your book.
D minor for
Fantastic.
an audience of Colorado stoners
Who all died in disbelief. That's amazing.
Oh, that's
wonderful.
We also have, to add to the book, we have Jake's Thoughts of the Day.
Yes.
Nobody look at them before you read them.
Okay.
And so this is the segment where this is just this is literally Jake's stream of consciousness. So
Cool.
let's do Jake's Thoughts of the Day. Who wants to start?
Let's do it. I can start.
Let's go.
Go for it.
Let's do it.
Thought of the day. All right. Believe it or not, I was actually vice president of my middle school student government when I was in the 7th grade. But our president was assassinated, so I had to take over. And what a bitch that was. Oh my God. There was a whole conspiracy, too. She did have some very polarizing stances, like removing peanut butter products from the middle school bake sale. A lot of people wanted her head for that one, the parents included. It could have been anyone. I did get a letter from Skippy, registered trademark, congratulating me on the new position, which was nice.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. You got some dark shit happening.
Oh my God.
The Skippy Mafia.
The funny part is that we know who that is about. Unless you completely made it up.
No. It's not about anybody.
Is there an actual
okay.
Skippy
It's not
Mafia?
in reference to a person with a peanut allergy from high
Yeah,
school.
that's what I was thinking.
No, not at all.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's what I thought too.
I thought it was like literally. I'm like, oh wow, were you actually the vice president of the student government?
7th grade, yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So this is a true story.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
Yes, it actually was.
Tragic.
The president was assassinated. That's incredible.
It's a real
What do you got?
All right, let's go. Did you hear? Big Sausage Pizza is suing hundreds of its current and former delivery drivers and customers for exchanging sexual favors for pizza. The pizza chain filed for bankruptcy only 4 months after opening its doors to the public in 2010. CEO Jeffrey Cream claims the company didn't receive a single dollar during the entire 4 months, and admitted that exclusively hiring well-endowed men and delivering solely to pornography film sets was his first mistake.
Oh my God.
Oh God,
Jeffrey Cream.
Jeffrey Cream.
Holy shit.
Oh man.
Oh no.
Someone coming off a plane with their neck pillow still on is a bit strange. That's what I thought until I saw someone get off a plane yesterday with the airplane seat still stuck to their ass.
That's so dumb. That is the dumbest shit that has been read in a long time. Wow.
This is what we're writing a book for.
This is why.
yes.
This is
This is like one of those back of the toilet books.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
Thoughts
100%.
of the day.
Yes.
By Jake.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love it.
Cocktail
Okay,
book
one
right
more.
here.
One more. Oh God, what do we have? You can tell how frequently someone goes to Outback Steakhouse by how high their jeans are on their body. I once saw a man at Outback wearing his jeans so high he was looking through his zipper. See, the greatest part about this is Jake is just over here dying. Just the visual of like,
Oh my God.
holy shit.
That's my favorite visual.
My
I've
thing
had
is
in a
like,
long
what
time.
did you see that triggered that thought process?
I have no idea.
That reminds me of when I grew up. The girls used to really pull their hair back really tight, and the joke was always, if you keep doing that, you're gonna get a goatee soon.
Oh my God.
Because they're pulling their hair so back and their skin's coming up.
Oh my God.
Oh Jesus.
Oh no.
Oh.
That took me a minute, but that's a good one. I like that one.
Wow.
Okay,
Beautiful.
holy shit. Should we finish off with a couple of misconnections? We haven't
do
done
it.
that. I feel like we haven't done that in a
It's
while.
been a while.
Misconnections.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Okay, let's do some misconnections. We have 2 sets. So what we'll do is we'll do Tom and Dylan will do one set,
All right.
and then Dave and I'll do the other. You guys want to start?
And this is the one where we guess which
Jake's still
one's
laughing
real.
about looking
Yep.
through the
So
zipper.
yeah.
All
For
right.
anybody
Oh,
that
yes,
hasn't
yes,
seen this segment, Jake wrote one of these misconnections. It's totally fake, and then one of them is real, and we have to guess which one.
This
Bingo.
one has a lot of all caps text, so I hope
Okay.
that your compressor is at the ready. Blood curdling sunscreen. Saw you at the Jean Talon market. Jean Talon? I don't know what that means. Was part of the crowd you came up to. You were screaming bloody murder. Help! Help! Oh my God! Oh my God! Some biddy help! You collapsed on the ground and squirmed and shook as if there were bugs crawling all over you. Thought you were on something. A few people ran over to you, not me, not my style, and asked if you were okay. You cried out a few more screams, then said you forgot your sunscreen. It was a hot sunny day, but not scorching. Does anyone have sunscreen? Please help! You screamed. I think someone gave you some. Either way, I was impressed by your extreme concern for your skin. I like a lad that takes care of himself, even if emotionally unstable. Send me a line if you want to hit the beach. Kidding. Midnight walk.
Oh man.
Oh my God. Okay.
That was
Wow.
clever. That was a good one.
I'll reserve
right.
my initial judgment until we hear
Yes.
this one.
All right. Let's hear the second one.
Okay. A little shorter. Big knife. Cute smile.
Holy shit.
It's a hell of a start, guys. All right. I saw you yesterday as you were walking through Clipper Mill. Does anybody know where that is? You were,
Oh no. Okay. Okay. No.
that-
Well, there was a place, a very specific place in that one, but now there's a specific place in this one.
Oh.
Good job. Now I have no clue.
Yep.
All right.
All right.
He's learning.
Saw you yesterday as you were walking through Clipper Mill. You were talking to someone in a car, and when you turned around, you had a huge, sharp-looking, I don't know what, Bowie knife? You put it away pretty fast. I wouldn't say we had a moment or anything, but I really wanted to stop and ask you about it. So, what's with the knife? That's it.
Huh. Okay.
I think Dylan's is real
Yeah.
and mine is fake. I just
Think
got a
so?
feeling.
I agree.
See-
I agree.
anytime it seems so insane that you're like, oh, Jake had to have written that one, it oftentimes winds up being the real one.
And
That
it comes
is
around
true.
and bites
And
you
here's
in
the
ass.
thing.
Yeah.
Clipper Mill and Gene Talon Market, right?
I've never heard of either of them.
I've never
so
heard of
that
either
gives
of
me
them.
no information.
But which one seems more real? I don't know.
I'm still gonna go with that one.
Yeah.
I think this one's fake.
I think yours is real.
You think mine's real?
I think Sunscreen's real.
Okay. What about you two?
I agree with you. Yeah. That's
Yeah, I agree with you. I think fake real.
All right.
Okay, so I'm the only one that
Yeah.
thinks Sunscreen
Yeah.
is real?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. What do we got?
All right, sunscreen is fake.
Ah!
Yep.
Man, I was just banking on like the crazier one being the one, but
I probably went a
Sometimes
little
that's-
overboard.
That's a
I
good
don't know, I've
approach.
been
though.
reading Jake's thoughts
It's-
today right now.
yeah, it's been true. It's been true on multiple occasions, but
Okay, me and my Fivehead.
4 heads are deprecated. We're not a 5 heads.
Let me cut right to the chase. I have the biggest fucking forehead in the world. Kids laugh at me walking down the street. I can't find love. I've tried growing bangs, but there isn't enough hair in the world to cover my massive 5 head, maybe 6 head. I think I need to attach a rod to my head and hang window curtains to cover it. The last time I had a guy over, he rubbed shoe polish on my head, then drew blueprints on it. He was an architect. The drawing was nice, but it was awkward walking into the office the next day with floor plans on my giant 5 head. Anyway, I just got my stimulus check in the mail, and I'm looking for a good shagging. Fuck me and tell me I have a normal-sized head.
oh my
Okay,
god.
I'm calling my
Oh.
shot. That's not actually real, but Jake didn't write it.
I think Jake wrote it. I think Jake wrote that one, but I gotta
All right.
compare.
Let's
I got-
yeah, let's,
Th-
let's
by the
hear
way,
yours.
that's a 5-head. Do you guys know about Victor Borga?
Oh, I've heard of that name.
No.
Victor Borga was a really, really talented classical pianist, but he was a comedian. He was this Danish comedian, and he was fucking hilarious. But one of his bits was he called it inflationary language. And any word that had a number in it, he would increase by 1. So forehead would become 5-head.
Fivehead.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
before it becomes
okay.
B5, lieutenant
Yeah.
becomes Ludelevenant. Like, yeah. And so and
Wow.
he would read this story, and it would be filled with all these words.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was just hysterically
clever.
funny.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
That's
if you haven't
cool.
checked that
My
out,
friend
you gotta-
Martin would
yeah.
often in college be like, metaphors are deprecated. We do meta 5s.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah.
Totally,
I
totally.
like that.
Okay, so for comparison, cute in the confessional. Hey, you were in my confessional booth today and confessed to a bunch of stuff, including cursing, impure thoughts, and stealing a fish. I'm pretty sure this might go against one of my vows or something, probably a minor one, but I snuck a peek at you as you were leaving, and you're smoking hot. Look, I'll admit, the thing about your stepdad weirded me out a little bit, but I can definitely get past it. Let's see where this leads. Please respond with the number of Hail Marys / Our Fathers that I assigned as penance, along with the other messed up thing that you confessed about the hamburger patty and your doctor, so I'll know it's you. Wow. That's special. Yeah, I'm sticking with my original thing.
I'm still sure Jake didn't write that one.
I think Jake wrote that one. I think this one is real.
I think Jake wrote the confessional.
Okay, you think Jake wrote Confessional. I think Confessional is real. What do you think?
We got to keep this format the same somehow.
Confessional,
Okay, so
real or fake?
I think Confessional is real. I think the other one's
Okay.
Jake's.
Fake confessional.
we got
Okay,
50-50 on this one.
Tom and Dave both think Confessional's fake,
Mhm.
and they think that the other one is real. And
Yes.
Dylan and I both think that Jake wrote that the Confessional's real. Wow, this is confusing. We have to come up with a better way to describe this shit.
Singular format.
Anyways,
Okay.
Confessional, real or fake?
Confessional is real.
Oh my god.
Wait, now I'm confused. What did I even say?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, you wrote.
Yeah,
so
you
you
wrote
wrote
Jake wrote
Fivehead?
that one.
Fivehead.
Yeah, okay, we're right. We're good. Yeah.
You know what gave it away? How fucking funny you thought it was.
Yeah.
as you're reading it, he's just dying. He's just like cracking up, and I'm like, oh, Jake definitely wrote that shit.
I need to
Yeah.
learn to analyze Jake's facial
Oh
expressions.
my god.
Oh man. Oh,
Wow. Well,
those
that
are
was a
fantastic.
complete mess and a lot of fun. So
Beautiful.
yeah, Dave, thanks for coming out as always.
My pleasure.
And until next time. And thanks for finally rising from the dead and joining us again. Jesus Christ.
I have been getting married, going on honeymoon, and then I'm just a cave hermit working on a project
Yeah. Well,
that I'm not ready to release yet. Very close.
you are you ever gonna make a YouTube video again?
What are you talking about? I make YouTube videos all the time. On my second channel, Thomas Frank Explains.
Oh, that's where people can find Tom's
Yeah.
latest work on Thomas Frank
Just go to
Explains.
Thomas Frank Explains if you want to
There
learn
we
about
go.
Notion.
How has it been? How long has it been from your main channel since your last video?
5 months.
Wow.
But we are working on a video.
Okay, good.
We are working on one. I guess this is like a little end segment, but I had my friend Ransom has been running the blog for years, and he's like, I want to do more. And I'm like, cool. Do you want to learn how to produce a YouTube channel
Ooh.
and write for it? And he's like, hell yeah, let's do it. So he is going to be like the overseer and head researcher for the main channel going forward. While
Nice.
I'm like 100% focused on the second channel, and then I'll just host the videos.
Beautiful.
Wow.
Well, people can look forward to finding that on Thomas Frank on YouTube
Yeah.
and Thomas Frank Explains. Cool. Sweet. All right. Well, that'll do it for this week's episode. Thanks everybody for listening, watching, whatever you're doing, wherever you are, and hope you have a great week. All right. Cool. See ya.
Cheers again.
Cheers.
Cheers to mics.
Cheers.